I saw something interesting, and I don't know how far this goes. I have to disclose that because I only saw the headline. I didn't read the whole article. But Tony Ferguson had come out and said he had a demand to do the Khabib match, to do the rematch, which is just simply if Khabib doesn't make weight the next time, Tony gets the belt. He becomes the interim champion. Fine. I thought the bigger story in that headline was that somebody's talking to Ferguson about fighting Khabib, that it's not a foregone conclusion that from a bracketed situation he wins by forfeit and we'll just move on to Conor. I thought that was interesting because I still believe there's room for a Conor Diaz match. And I think as long as Khabib and Tony are staying together, it does preserve a likelihood of Conor Diaz. Now, the only way that any of that matches up is with dates. Does Conor come back? Is Khabib and Tony fighting in the meantime? If so, Conor needs somebody. And that would be the Nate Diaz situation. So I don't know, but I did think that was interesting. And I liked it from Ferguson's standpoint if my hypothesis is right, because we were promised that fight. We were promised Tony with Khabib. You keep that together. The promotion spent millions of dollars marketing that fight, so why burn it? Is also my opinion. So I kind of liked it. I thought it was good news. And frankly, Tony's not asking too much. He's not really asking too much at all.
Now, you've said this in the past, how the contracts work once you become a champion. Is interim champion the same thing? They tear up your contract, they give you a new contract, you get pay-per-views.
Yeah, so to speak on that whole thing, that's just a policy of the UFC. That nobody has that in their contract, but by policy, once you became champion, they would bring you to Vegas, tear your contract up, give you a new one that included points. And they've held that policy for a number of years. I think that's what you're speaking on. So would that kick in for Tony? Yeah, he might be able to have a new conversation, but none of that is guaranteed.
Listen, I'm at the same spot I was 3 months ago. The best fight you can make for me as a fan is Nate and Conor. 3. That's the same spot we were 3 months ago. So you're preaching to the choir on that.
Yeah, I don't disagree with that. It's just there has been a question of why wasn't that made? It did such incredible business. History of fighting says if you split, you go to a rubber match. Now you've got the weight class, you've got the time. I think you have more on the line. I think you have a bigger storyline now that they would do it at 155, that Conor is the champion, that more is up for grabs. But I get that that's a magical spot, that a lot of things have to align besides just contendership. I get that there's a whole show and a whole bunch of business that comes there. But I have always thought, why isn't it Conor versus Nate 3? The story's there. The marketing's done. You want to talk about footage. Every time you build a fight, you show one guy fighting another guy. And what would happen if they matched up? Well, you actually have these two guys fighting with the finishes and the decisions and the whole bit. It just seems from a marketing standpoint, you've got all the pieces, man. Put them together.
Yeah, I wish this nonsense with Mayweather and Conor wasn't part of it, because it's a major hurdle in all of these fights. You're giving up an interim title because, he's not fighting. So I would love to see that. What are some other fights, big fights, you would like to see?
Oh, some other big fights. Well, I think where they placed GSP was also interesting to me. I'm now on board with the Bisping fight after that press conference. I think that's more fun. But GSP versus Anderson right out of the gate. You were a GSP versus Nick Diaz. I'll watch that fight, but that didn't do anything for me more than the Bisping did. Good fight. Already seen it. What wasn't controversial the first time, don't need to see it again. I don't know. I don't know in terms of big fights. You saw what just happened to Rothwell? You saw Rothwell got flagged by USADA? I
did. Do you have any information on that other than the headline?
That's exactly what I was going to ask you. Any word on the substance? Now, if I remember right, Rothwell was in the hot seat once before, so this would be number 2. It wasn't with USADA, but I believe Rothwell served a suspension before, didn't he?
2013 was for TRT or high testosterone or whatever that was back then, or he didn't have the exemption or whatever that was. So this is number 2, and man, I read that and I was like, no, man, he's so close. I wanted to see that fight. I like Big Ben. So,
what do you mean that fight? Did he have one lined up? And this cost a fight?
Yeah, with Verdum or Dos Santos.
Okay, he's got a fight with Verdum or Dos Santos, and now that fight's scratched.
No, who's Stipe got? Stipe has
Dos Santos.
Okay, so yeah, it was with Verdum. And now that, well, it's not officially scrapped yet, but I don't think we've ever saw USADA come out and say, hey, this guy's been flagged. And then 2 weeks later, we're like, hey, we're all good here. No, go on about your business. So, where there's smoke, there's fire.
Yeah.
The chances are.
It's seen, by the way. But yeah, but the chances, no, that fight's gone. If he got flagged, that fight's gone. I mean, even if he got rendered, innocent, like what happened with Cyborg, there's not enough time. It's not enough time between now and then. All right, so Big Ben got hit. A fight that I like is just what's going down this weekend. I like Gastelum versus Vitor. Gastelum's a killer in 2 different weight classes. He was the tough champion at 85. He went on a tear at 170, including beating the former champion in Johnny Hendricks, including having the worst single performance of his career and still getting a split decision over the current champion in Tyron Woodley. And now he's at 85. And there's something with Vitor for me that hasn't gone away. It's still Vitor. There's still a lot there to watch. There's a reason that he's still a main event fighter.
Hey, saw and seen I and me, boy. Gastelum lost that fight with T-Wood.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he lost the fight. I said he got a split decision. And I was just commenting on the fact that it was a poor performance by him. And he still made it to a split decision with the reigning champion.
I didn't understand what you were actually saying, but most of the time I don't.
Decisions are confusing.
Words are hard. Did you hear Ellen Berger tell Perry words are hard? I thought that was funny.
I thought the whole thing was pretty solid by them.
Yeah. Listen, the fight on that card is Jacare and this Whitaker kid, who is just a killer. That's the co-main event, and that
you have literally no idea what you're talking about, do you?
Jacare is fighting Whitaker.
Jacare, the top contender at 185, who fought a week ago, is going to fight Whitaker.
Yeah.
Tomorrow.
Yes.
What do you want to bet?
2 favors.
Done.
All right.
Jacare Souza who just fought a week ago and is the top contender at 185, is fighting Whitaker tomorrow.
Yep.
By Jacare, by any chance, would you mean Shogun? And by Whitaker, by any chance, would you mean Gian Villante?
Nope. Here, go ahead and talk, because I got 2 favors. Talk, boy. He didn't want to talk. All right.
Do you contest that Shogun Villante is the co-main event?
No, he's fighting. Shogun's the 3rd fight on that card.
Jacare is the co-main event tomorrow. The top contender in the world is going to fight in 24 hours, and I don't know about it.
Yep.
Against Whitaker.
Yep.
Another top 5 fighter in the world.
Yep.
And they just decided to not tell anybody?
Well, they told me.
Hey, guys, here's an idea. Let's make a fight, but let's not tell anybody. What website is it you're going to that takes this long? I mean, that's the one thing about the internet. For most people, it's kind of instant. Hello, Joel.
I'm working, bud. Leave me alone.
What website are you on?
I got 2 favors on this. I'm not getting a signal. Yeah, Robert Whitaker to face Jacare Souza.
Where? When?
Tomorrow, bro.
No, stop. Oh, jeez. You're making this up.
Australian middleweight contender Robert Whitaker will face Ronaldo Souza on April 15th. All right, so it's not tomorrow, but he is facing him on April 15th, so that's close.
And I am now owed 2 favors.
I don't. We're gonna have to run that back. I mean,
run it back. The whole thing is being taped. There's no room for misunderstanding. You said they were fighting tomorrow. I even argued the spot on the card, to which you then argued and said Shogun is the 3rd down on the card. I mean, I'd say you made your stance pretty clear.
Well, are you sure today is not
April 14th?
Yes.
Yes, I am.
Positive.
Yep.
All right, so there's no way that we'll ever know who's right on this, so we'll just move on.
We call it a draw?
Yep. I'm willing to do that for you.
So far.